Hello, friends. Welcome to day 26. Happy Friday. We're in the middle of this 90-day volunteer recruiting challenge. My name is Kenny Connolly, and I'm attempting to recruit 50 new volunteers. Today, I want to address a fallacy. And maybe it's not always a fallacy, but it is more often than it isn't. Anytime when we think about recruiting volunteers, the place that we oftentimes go first is a stage push, a stage ask. If we can just get on the stage, plead our case, have our pastor cast vision and invite people to volunteer, that will solve all our problems. And as you probably know, it doesn't. Rarely does it solve our problem. And it's funny though, because we know this, but we still resort to wanting to make an announcement, wanting to talk about it in the opening. I didn't bring this up, but the very first weekend of this volunteer recruiting challenge is a busy weekend. There are a lot of things going on. And on that weekend, I was invited to do the opening, and I was inviting people to fill out an interest form to potentially become a volunteer. We're opening a brand new kids wing, and now is a great time to plug in and get involved. Now, I would like to say that I'm pretty good at this, that I'm pretty compelling, that I can promote pretty well. Do you want to know how many people I recruited from that stage announcement for all three services? Zero. Nobody filled out my form. Now, I will say this. I had a couple people come up to me and they talked to me about how excited they were about some of the things I talked about the things that we were adding. So I don't believe that talking about it from the stage is a miss, but it surely shouldn't be a foundation of your strategy. Casting vision is always beneficial, but don't rely and build your volunteer recruiting strategy around invitations from stage. I would say at my time at Mariners, we had made a decision at the church that we were going to do twice a year volunteer fairs, where lots of ministries could recruit volunteers. We had booths and tables set up in the courtyard outside the church building, and the entire message was built around serving. It was typically tied into the content of the series, but they would find a week where a great tie and an action step towards serving would fit within that series. And we had success at that. Sometimes we didn't. Sometimes we got less than 10 people. And this is at a very big church. We would sometimes have less than 10 people. And at other times we would have more than 50. And so I think there's a place and a strategy for a volunteer fair or an all-church push towards volunteering, where a series or a sermon is completely built around people taking an action step towards serving. And that's a conversation for another day. But just to reiterate, to communicate, don't hang your hopes on the stage volunteer ask, because you'll almost always be disappointed. Reach out to somebody. Call someone, text someone, have a conversation in the courtyard. You're always going to recruit more people when you do it that way.